Hello and welcome back to part 3 of our Maiden Nova caravan holiday. My name is Naomi and thank you for joining us as we travel and explore Australia. In this video we reached the Yorke Peninsula. We left the Barossa Valley and headed to Gawler. We had an unexpected stop due to a car breakdown in Malala. And once the car was going again, we continued on to Wallaroo. Arriving in Wallaroo in the late afternoon, we stayed at the Wallaroo Beachfront Tourist Park. This would be our home for the next 4 nights. After setting up, it was time to cook in the camp kitchen. We made a delicious honey mustard chicken and rice dish, followed by a dessert of sticky date pudding and rice cream. After we'd finished dinner and cleaned up, it was time to go for a walk and burn off some of the calories we'd consumed. We went for a walk around Wallaroo Beachfront and the jetty. Cormorants spitting things into the water. Sounds like they're laughing at each other. They make a funny noise. Wallaroo has unique silo art. By day it's just an ordinary white painted silo, but by night, as the sun begins to set, the lights come on and it is transformed into a light show. The light show has different themes and will often show the history of the area, events and local artists. Watching the light show and tuning into the radio station will add another dimension to the experience, with sound and running commentary, explaining the history and the images being portrayed. Wallaroo forms part of what is known as the Copper Triangle. Copper was mined in the nearby towns of Kadina and Moonta. The copper was transported to Wallaroo, where the smelting was done. Copper was then shipped out to other areas. Wallaroo, in its peak, was the second largest port in South Australia. Today, only one of the 3 jetties remain, and it is still active with transporting wheat and grain. Exploring the town of Wallaroo, you can also do a self-guided tour of the art and historical trails. The historic building trail, which shows the location of the buildings and what it was used for. Buildings such as the smelter's office has now been converted into an accommodation. This sculpture by Trevor Warren with the granite rock represents the towns of the Copper Coast and also the copper mines and smelting structures around the area. The Cutter Canberra sculpture was the fishing boat originally owned by the Angelakis family. They donated this boat, and it represents the families who migrated to Australia and also the thriving fishing industry of the area. Hughes's chimney stack is all that remains above ground of the Wallaroo Mining and Smelting Company. This was the largest of the 12 chimneys and stands at 130 feet high and contains over 300,000 bricks. The Town Hall is one of the historic buildings you can find on the historic trail. The Town Hall began construction in 1901 and was finished and opened in 1902. There was a fire in 1917 and the building was rebuilt in 1918, which also included the addition of the clock tower. Part of the art trail, you can go down the Wallaroo foreshore and see these mosaic tiles which have been created by the local school students. Our next adventure begins in the nearby town of Moonta. We arrived at the Moonta Mines Museum and Tourist Railway about 30 minutes before the first train of the morning departed. Just enough time to do a quick walk around, see the sweet shop and the outside of the museum. We're out at the Moonta Mines Museum today. This is the side where the sweet shop is. And we're going to go on the train and have a look through the museum. There's the train we're going to be going on shortly.
I've watched your present. Present? Yeah.
Tell me what it is.
Little balls.
A very special lolly.
Yeah, it should. I'll send a picture of that to Sarah.
What have you got, son?
Oh, that's the lolly shop, right?
The sherbet.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff in there. You're talking about $40 worth of lollies. You fit a hog's head in there. 20,000 hogs' heads, pigs' heads. In the mine.
In the Moonta
That's how they
Reservoir.
measured it. They threw 20,000 pigs' heads in there
Yeah.
just to see how it worked.
It sounds like you're telling me a furphy.
What's a
Here's
furphy? Camp oven.
That tall story. Here we go. How much did it have here?
What?
180 feet long or 54.9 metres, 120 feet wide or 36.6 metres, 9 feet deep. Wow, capacity 20,000 hogsheads.
Many children lost their lives falling into these tanks.
Wow.
Trying to go for a swim, couldn't get out.
Well, yeah, I'd say so. I don't think it's done because they're obviously exposed and they've fallen in and then couldn't get out.
Well, you reckon that happened?
And the history of the mine and of Moonta. These were some of the largest and richest copper mines in the world and helped to save the state of South Australia from bankruptcy. Copper was first discovered at a place now called Wallaroo Mines in 1859. A smelter and port were built at Wallaroo to process the ore and export it. Ore was later taken from the Moonta Mines to Wallaroo by bullock train, which was a very slow process, taking 2 days each way. The whole area of Wallaroo, Kadina and Moonta was leased by Walter Watson Hughes, a retired Scottish sea captain. He came out to Australia in 1840 and ran sheep in this area. Captain Hughes had asked all his shepherds to watch out for any signs of copper, which was was indicated by greenish coloured rocks or green flames in their campfires, and offered a reward of £6 a week as an incentive. Welcome to the wash and dry plant. Now, if I can have your attention for a few minutes, I'll explain what this building was for, and then you can have a look around. This place was constructed in 1899 as part of the treatment plant to reprocess the tailings heap and slime pits to recover the copper that was contained in them. The flowchart on the wall inside describes the process that was used, called the precipitation process, and the photographs show in sequence the actual operation of the plant. It was called the wash and dry plant because the copper yielded by the precipitation process was brought here to be washed to remove the dirt and impurities and dried to make it easier to handle when transported to the smelters at Wallaroo. We will move on down the track a short way, and then you'll be able
It's not hot. It was a lie.
Probably was in the day. This building was the former Moonta Mines School, built in 1871 to educate the children of the Cornish miners. This is the Lodges and Friendly Societies room in the Moonta Museum. The Friendly Societies provided financial assistance to families who were in need in times of sickness and death. Most lodges met for fellowship. This room displays the principal features of the Cornish mining era, including a large display of minerals. This room display tells of Moonta's connection to Cornwall and the customs the Cornish families brought with them to start a new life. Oswald Pryor, the son of a Cornish miner, was a noted cartoonist, mine captain, author, and organist. We're at the Moonta Mines Methodist Church from 1865. At capacity, was there 1,100 they could put in? 1,250 people can fit in here. A lot of the Cornish miners would have came here. Next was a drive out to Moonta Bay, where we walked out on the jetty and looked out over the ocean. We then drove to Kadina, Port Broughton and Fisherman's Bay and ended the day at Butte, where we saw some more silo art. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please join us next time as we travel further south to explore the southern end of the York Peninsula. We'll see you then.